Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. Of course, with Originator Success here with your daily mortgage rate update. Here to talk to you about what's going on with the rates and the market. Remember, you can join me live each and every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Let's do these videos. If you're watching on the replay, do me a favor. Just give me a hashtag replay in the comments, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you may be. Put hashtag replay in the comments. Don't forget to smash that like button, tag an hello friend, subscribe, share us in a group, all that good stuff. Remember, you can sign up for our written email lock advice, www.ratelockadvice.com. You can go ahead and sign up for our text alerts at www.ratetextalerts.com. Last but not least, check us out at originatorssuccess.com. So let's take a look and see what we got going on this morning. Say hi to all the live folks. We got James Taverner there. What's up, playa? We got everyone shows his Facebook user, so I don't know who any of the names are. Let me pop this back up here. If you show up as Facebook user and I don't see your name, this is where you go, and I'm going to put this in the chat real quick, and hopefully it'll come up where you can click it. If you are on Facebook and you are in the Facebook group, then Facebook requires you to give them your permission. So you just need to go to chat.restream.io/FB. I posted it in the chat. Hopefully you guys can see that as well. So we got Tom Dedmore here this morning. Good morning. Lisa Bollinger. Good morning. Great to have you here as well. If you're here this morning, go ahead and say good morning. I'm going to go ahead and jump in and why is this not highlighting the way? There it goes, the way it was supposed to. Should be smidge better. All right. So rate sheets this morning should be just a little bit better. You're going to see, just some minor improvement in pricing. No real big moves in rates. We knew that wasn't going to happen this week anyway. Bonds were quiet yesterday. Go ahead and show you the screen here, and we'll pop this on and you guys could take a look. So looking down here, you can see to the right, basically mortgage bonds were quiet through the day, got a little bit of an uptick and then improved a little bit and stayed that way through the afternoon. Started the day today flat, lost a little bit of ground momentarily. This is just more of trading chatter than anything. Right now up a whopping 5 basis points. That puts us up about 20 basis points from when pricing came out yesterday, which again means that rate sheets are going to be just a smidge better today. Reprice risk on the day is low. Should be another quiet day. Ahead of a quiet week. However, tomorrow we have a lot of economic data. So if you're considering locking, you might want to consider locking today ahead of tomorrow's data. Now, if the data tomorrow comes in favorable to bonds, we could see slightly better pricing. Remember, too, though, that bonds are going to be they're going to benefit generally ahead of the holiday, but pricing generally is a little more conservative. Lenders, are they know they're susceptible to overnight pricing. So they tend to be a little more conservative ahead of the holiday. So tomorrow we get jobless claims, which normally come out on a Thursday. We're going to get those on a Wednesday. We're going to get a durable goods report. We're going to get a consumer sentiment report. All those are going to hit in the morning. We'll see a little bit of trading, and then it's going to just be a morgue for the rest of the day as traders take the day off and disappear basically for the long holiday. Same thing on Friday. Friday, bond markets are open until 2 p.m. It's funny, they don't close early before Thanksgiving. They close early the day after Thanksgiving, right? A little bit weirder, but Friday bond market will be closed at 2 p.m. Eastern time. It's a morgue anyway, very quiet day. Of course, Thursday, all markets are closed anyway. So nothing that you should really worry about. Look at that, Mr. Tom Dedmore. He is tagging another originator that they should watch these for Mr. Matthew Long. So thank you, Tom, for spreading the word. Appreciate that, my friend. Good morning, Megan Lindberg, Mark, David. Great to see you guys here as well. So I'll tell you, it is quiet, right? The outlook hasn't changed. We're still looking great for rates. We may see some moves tomorrow due to low trading volume more than anything. Really nothing to act on. Puts us in a position we want to go ahead and continue to float. And what I wanted to share with you all was some interesting articles that are coming up, some headlines here on the Bloomberg. So the first one is high interest rates are shattering housing dreams around the world. Now, this is again, this is just an article. It's written very, very vaguely because they're talking about New Zealand, they're talking about Australia. I think they hit the UK. They, of course, hit the US. Three writers here. I wish that I could do comments on the Bloomberg articles because this one, shattering housing dreams, the end of the property boom is diminishing home ownership as a path to wealth and deepening economic divides. And there's a lot of inaccuracies in this article as pertains to the US market, at least, right? So, like here, the US market, dominated by 30-year mortgages, is effectively frozen. That's real. As homeowners with low rates are reluctant to sell and buyers are squeezed. So, that part's real. In the long-time boom areas of New Zealand and Canada, values haven't fallen meaningfully for house hunters. Now, in New Zealand, apparently they have they don't have like a 30-year fix. They have arms. So there's a lot going on over there. Some things that I didn't like here was this Mark Zandi guy, chief economist at Moody's Analytics. Sometimes you wonder where they come up with this stuff. Good morning, Ron Siegel. Happy Turkey Day, Mike Tebow. So the golden age of single family housing is behind us. Really? Nothing melodramatic there. If you bought in the wake of the financial crisis, you built up a lot of equity in most parts of the world, but the next 10 years is going to be more of a slog. Zandi expects the 30-year U.S. mortgage rates, currently about 7.4, will average somewhere around 5.5 over the next decade, compared with a low of 2.65 in early 2021. Well, first of all, they're not even referencing the fact that this was a pandemic rate when the Fed had driven the economy, had to drive the entire economy. They were doing quantitative easing. They were driving rates down because we had a pandemic and we had a very, I'm just going to throw it out there. We had a terrible reaction to the pandemic and the shutdowns and all the things there, right? So this is a black swan, once in a lifetime type event, at least we hope. And, rates were generally around 5.5. This isn't so like this article. I just found this article to be a lot of crap. But unfortunately, you got to be aware of this stuff because this is what most people are seeing. Now, there was some truth to it. Things like this. Most homeowners have locked in low borrowing costs. Mortgage holders have less incentive to move and take on higher rates. This is very real. What did Ron Siegel say here? Ron says, hold on a minute. Here we go. The local news here in SoCal was littered yesterday with negative housing news. I had to refrain from screaming at the TV because I was sitting at a CE webinar. Yeah. I mean, it's very frustrating. That stands to have a knock-on effect. Mobility for jobs could be limited. Family members and friends may more often be forced to live together. As the elderly age in place, homes may be kept off the market that could otherwise be purchased by young families. There's some truth to all of this, right? But this is something we've been dealing with for quite a while. At the same time, homeowners are sitting on near record equity and vast majority are unaffected by rate hikes, which may otherwise force sales or result in foreclosures that would give buyers a chance to enter the market. Now, one of the things let's see if he talks about here. He predicts a slow puncture in prices for developed economies rather than a crash. We're not going to see even a puncture here. Homeowners pinched by higher rates may have to cut back on spending in other areas to keep up with their mortgage payments. But one of the things to remember here is we have a strong labor market. The labor market drives the mortgage market. If the labor market were to crash, the mortgage market would also be highly affected. Differently this time, but highly affected. As long as we have a strong labor market, though, we have nothing to worry about. And the labor market is still strong. Be aware, we've got some, headlines your consumers are going to see. You may get some inquiries. This stuff's a little late. U.S. mortgage rates fall for the third week, dropping to 7.44%. Mortgage applications have ticked up as borrowing costs drop. Recent economic data lowers the odds of a rate hike, and that is definitely true. We've looked at this many, many times. The focus of a December rate hike, 0%. Nobody, markets don't expect it. This is where everyone expects the Fed to have topped out. In January, everyone thinks the Fed will continue to hold rates in March. They look at where we start to see some expectation that as early as March, markets think that we could start to see a rate cut. And it's possible if we get into some recessive economic data, right? By May, markets think that we will see the first rate cut versus only 40% that believe the Fed will still hold true. By June, only 17% believe rates will be where they're at now. So markets are pricing in that first rate cut at the beginning of the year. Um, the U.S. housing market has become an impossible mess. This is by Prashant Gopal and Patrick Clark. Again, I'd love to publicly do a webinar with some of these folks. Americans with cheap loans don't want to sell. Those without homes can't afford to buy. Will anything budge? I haven't read this whole article yet, but it looks like it's got a little bit of the right idea to it. Sometimes feels as if the U.S. housing market's a never-ending affordability crisis, with prices continually rising and inventory shrinking. The reasons have ranged from anemic construction to student loan debt to investors buying up starter homes. But even as the pandemic pushed values up faster than ever, cheap mortgages kept buyers in the game. Now a whole new affordability crisis beginning, and this time there's no obvious way out. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I think that all that stuff is in there. But there you go. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Figured we'd have something else to talk about this week. It should be a quiet day. Again, advice remains to go ahead and float. Don't think there's really anything we have to worry about. If you were planning on locking, consider locking today. Maybe see where the end of the day goes. I didn't see opportunities for much reprice better, but it's possible. I mean, right now, take a look at this 10-year treasury yield, by the way, 4.41. Look at how it's dipped down here so nicely. We'll be testing this 100-day moving average, which is at 4.34. That's not that far away. We'll probably be testing that around Thanksgiving. Mortgage bonds staying above the 100-day moving average. We are up 9 basis points on the day. If you want to, again, tomorrow's pricing is going to be a little conservative. We could, if we get some favorable data in the morning, though, it could be the best rate sheet of the week and the best rate sheet we've seen in a while. So, but for those of you, I know many of you are winding down. Hey, let me know. Do you, I'll hit you guys up on it later. I'm going to wrap it up. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a fantastic day, my friends. Bye-bye.